If you've seen the movie Encanto by Disney, you'll be familiar with the house that I am currently standing in. I am literally currently in the location that inspired the creators of Encanto in the Eje Cafetero of Colombia. This is an area of the world that is so unique and that has attracted tourists from all over the world. Welcome to El Eje Cafetero and welcome to one of the most beautiful areas in all of Colombia. Good morning and welcome back to another beautiful day here in Colombia. We are currently in the town of Salento, so we are no longer in 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐊, and as you can probably tell behind me, that is the town of Salento. We've come up here at about 6 in the morning for sunrise, and let me tell you, the sun is rising back there. I don't know if you can tell, but that sun is definitely rising in the background. The unfortunate thing is that actually when we were up here, it started raining really strongly. So luckily there are some tents in the back. I was just hiding there in the tents. Now, coming here at sunrise is great because when you come here at sunset, this place is packed. And when I mean packed, I mean absolutely jam-packed with people. Salento is located in an area known as El Eje Cafetero. This is the coffee region of Colombia, a place that is famous for their coffee. And of course, we aren't going to stay in Salento today. We're going to do that tomorrow. But today we're actually going to head to another town in this area of the Eje Cafetero. It's a beautiful area, and as you can see, it's super tranquil. It's just super quiet, but it's gonna be an incredible day. We're gonna go see another town, and over the next few days we're gonna be in this area. It's beautiful. It truly is stunning. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. So let's go ahead, let's head back down, and let's go see if we can get some transportation on our way to our stop for the day. Early in the morning, Salento is just the most beautiful, quiet little town. It's sleepy, like literally nobody is up. And that's because actually at night, it gets pretty busy at night. You know, there are pubs that are open, there's places where you can get drinks, there's bars. So people probably sleep in and then they do their things later on during the day. But literally in the morning, you have the entire place to yourself. You can literally see how quiet it is right now. It's amazing. You can literally just hear the birds and the animals humming, and that's about it. So this is our situation now. We have gone onto a public bus. This bus goes all the way back to Armenia, but it is going to stop at the highway, and from the highway I'm going to find another bus to the town we're going to. So that's what it takes to do that when you don't pre-book your ticket. So make sure when you come to Salento, if you want to go to any other town, if you want to go to 𝐶𝐶 Valley, you can go anywhere from the jeeps. You gotta pre-book it in advance, because if you don't do that, you're gonna be stuck in my situation like now, trying to take a public bus and then having to go across the highway to find another bus. Not the ideal situation, but we're gonna make the most of it. Alright, we've managed to get off the first van, the first bus. Now, the question is whether we can get a second bus to the town. This is not the easiest, as you can tell. We've literally been dropped off at the highway. So we're gonna cross the highway, we're gonna get to the other side, and then we're gonna see if we're lucky or we're unlucky. If we're lucky, we'll get a car in like 2 minutes. If we're unlucky, we'll be waiting here for about an hour. Let's see how it goes. ¿Vas a Filandia? Filandia, sí. Well, finally, after taking a journey I did not expect to take, a journey that involved me crossing the middle of a highway, we finally made it to the beautiful town of Filandia. It's supposed to be less touristy than Salento, it's supposed to be less visited than Salento, but from what it looks like right now, it seems to be just as touristy, just as visited by people from all over the world. But that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to explore Filandia. We're going to walk around the town. It's supposed to be just as beautiful as Salento, if not even more beautiful. So let's go ahead and let's begin our journey around the town of Filandia. One thing I really wanted to do in Filandia was go on a coffee plantation tour, because I mean, you're in the 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿, you've got to visit a coffee plantation. However, what I didn't realize is that they're not just like an hour, they're about 3 hours long. And because we're not staying in Filandia, I do have to take a bus back, which means I'm not gonna have time to go on a coffee plantation tour. These are really fun. You actually go into like pick coffee and everything. I just talked to the guy about it and he said it's really fun. Fortunately, we won't be able to fit it in this time, but what we can do instead is visit an actual coffee shop and see how they're roasting the coffee beans. That seems like a pretty good alternative, so let's go ahead and check out what coffee is like here in Colombia. Buenos días. Muy bien. I think we're getting a little coffee tour here inside the coffee shop. This is exciting. You can actually have to close the door, so I don't know what that means, but it's exciting.
Proceso de tostión.
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 Ah, sí.
Tostadora,
Sí.
trelladora.
So he just explained to me that this machine here, this is the machine that you use to peel off the skin of the coffee. So when the coffee bean comes in fresh, we're gonna peel it off here. And then it comes from there. So you see the big tray over there. They put it in here. And then once that's fresh, then they're gonna put it into the toaster. He's actually gonna toast some of these coffee beans right now. So we're gonna see how he makes it. And once the coffee beans comes out, that's the coffee that you can actually take to drink. So this is the big machine where all the magic happens, this machine right here. Let's go see how he does it. So this place is actually called Café La Colina. You can see it right behind me. And he sort of explained to me how this machine works. So you put the beans right there at the top. And it actually takes a long time. It takes about 18 to 20 minutes to actually roast and cook the coffee beans. Now, what's interesting is that every time he puts it in, every time he roasts it, he has to record down the exact time that he's putting, because it's literally an art. It's literally all about precision. And he has this little wooden thing where you can take it out and sort of see the color of the coffee beans themselves. But honestly, it's so precise. It's literally like an art. Any small mistake and it goes wrong. It's 150, eso es 150 grados, ¿sí?
Se inicia a 150 grados.
So it's 150 degrees at the start, but then he slowly decreases the temperature until it's depressurized. And you can see he's just checking the beans to see what the color is. Is it dark enough? Is it too light? He has to make the perfect temperature of beans or else it's gonna go wrong. Oh, finally the magic has happened. It is done toasting. We've reached the perfect medium toast. And what he's done is all those coffee beans have literally spilled out of that machine and they're now cooling. This is the cooling process. And you can see, it just turns it around. You might be wondering, why did he turn it around? Well, that just maximizes the airflow and helps the beans cool faster. It takes about 6 minutes to cool down the beans. So that we're just waiting for them to cool down. And then once they're done, they get packaged and they're ready to be sold to the consumer, unless they need to be ground up, which then is another step that he'll have to do in order to get the coffee ready.
Estos son granos defectuosos que varían la calidad de la taza.
Ah, sí, pues son muy pálidos, ¿no? Y esos son quemados. Sí. Muchas gracias.
Oiga, qué bueno.
Muchas gracias.
Que estén muy bien.
Muy amable. Muchas gracias. Wow, what an incredible experience that was. I may not have been to a coffee plantation, but definitely such an interesting experience. The perfection, the precision required to make the perfect coffee is honestly mind-boggling. The ones that are burnt have to be taken out. The ones that are still too pale have to be taken out. It has to literally be the perfect coffee, and if it isn't, it doesn't pass the test, it doesn't get packaged, and it doesn't get sold as Colombian coffee. How interesting is that? What an incredible guy. He was super friendly. When you come here, please go to that store. They are so incredibly nice. They are amazing. They are so incredible, such incredible, warm, nice people. Just so happy to show you the process. He let me in there for a very long time to see the whole process from beginning to finish. But what a privilege it is when you're here in the 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍 cafetero. That's like the one thing you gotta do. You've got to see how coffee is made in Colombia, because that's just what you gotta do when you're here in Colombia. That's why Colombian coffee is so famous around the world. Well, just a few blocks from the coffee shop that we were at earlier is this place right here. This is your main central park. This is Parque Bolívar here in Filandia. And also, you can see there's a beautiful white and blue church that's like a symbol of Filandia. Unfortunately, the church is now closed, so we won't be able to visit it. But the park is just a nice area. You can see how safe, how quiet, how tranquil this place is. It's peaceful, it's nice. And people are just here sort of enjoying the day. A lot of them are people who are just visiting, actually. A lot of them are tourists, local Colombian tourists from other parts of Colombia who have come to visit the place. But of course, today's a Sunday, which is why it seems a little busier than usual. I feel like I still smell like coffee because that smoke has literally stayed on me. I literally still smell like toasted coffee. But it's incredible. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the church. So let's go ahead and let's continue walking through the town and see what else we can visit in Filandia. Welcome to Plazoleta Los Toldos, a nice, cute little internal area. What I love about these little towns is that they've got little courtyards, and this is one of those courtyards. As you can see, you can sit down and have food, or you can actually go around, shop for something. They've got actually a lot of incredibly beautiful artwork, but this is the sort of place that you get to enjoy here in Finlandia. You get to come into these cute little areas that are literally packed with people having food, drinking juice in the afternoon, enjoying all the shopping that you can do in Finlandia. So Finlandia is not just a place where, you know, you go on a coffee tour and you explore the old town. The truth is, there's a lot more to Finlandia, and here, for example, is a place where you can do some incredible shopping. For me, it's the decor that really stands out. It's the decorations, the colorful little papers at the very top, and just the building itself is really nice. It's really beautiful, and it's definitely worth a visit when you're here in Finlandia, especially if you want to buy some souvenirs to take back with you. Well, if you've seen the movie Encanto before, you know it's based on basically this family that lives in Colombia that's supposed to be like perfect, and like they each have their magical powers. But this place is the Mirador del Encanto, or the viewpoint of Encanto. And basically what they've done is they've sort of recreated the Encanto set here. So you've got like the house, you've got like this entire area. Entrance fee into the viewpoint is actually 8,000 pesos, which isn't that much. And you basically get access to like take a photo with the Encanto building. It's really nice, but let's go ahead and check it out. It's kind of like a cute little theme park thing. So it sounds fun, it sounds interesting. Let's go check it out. Welcome to the house of Encanto. It literally is like the same house. You've got these colorful, cute windows here. And of course, you can take a photo in the front of the house. Now, to be fair, the line is really long, but it is really cool. You can just actually come to the house. You don't have to wait in line for the photo. You can just come up here and explore. And it's like you're literally in the house of Encanto. It gives you the same amazing viewpoint out there, standing in a house that's literally based on Encanto. It's pretty incredible, and I'd say for 8,000 pesos, definitely worth the visit just to come here and feel like you're in Encanto all over again. That area is so crowded. I heard at least online that Filandia was a place that wasn't very crowded, that was not as visited as Salento, but let me tell you, that place is incredibly crowded. I think word's gotten out about Filandia. I think people have started figuring out what a beautiful place it is, and I think obviously with the whole Encanto sort of thing, especially after the movie came out, it's become really popular. So keep that in mind. It's not as, you know, as quiet, as unknown as it used to be maybe a few years ago. Definitely with the whole Encanto thing going on and all the incredible sort of words that are getting out about this place, people are starting to figure out about it. So it is much more crowded than I expected. We have just entered a place known as la Casa Museo de los Abuelos, which basically is like the house of the grandparents. And it's basically this old preserved house from many, many years ago, decades ago, what Filandia looked like before it became, you know, the place of Encanto that we just visited, you know, the big, you know, viewpoint and all that. Before all that happened, what was Filandia like? And you see this old wooden building, which was an actual house used by a local Filandian, someone who actually lived here. And you see photos of the olden times, what Filandia looked like before it was all developed. You see the old church in front of the park. You see a soccer team that was here from Filandia. You really get a sense that this was really a local community that blew up when people started realizing how beautiful the 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 was and how this was really a beautiful tourist place. They have one of those big coffee machines that they used to make coffee, and that's like from like decades ago. That is the history here of Filandia. They've got old cameras, they've got really old chairs, even the structure here is really old. And it's incredible that they've managed to preserve it so well. So if you want to get a glimpse of what old Colombian life was like, what your grandparents' house in Colombia would be like, this is the place that you've got to visit here in Filandia. That was actually one of the coolest museums I've seen, and it hurts me to see that people will like walk by it and they won't go in, they won't want to go and explore. It is so cool. What really shocks me about the house is actually it's made in the old architectural style, which means it's made of wood and excrement of horses, which means that it's actually more earthquake resistant than the concrete houses here, because it's able to shake, it's able to adjust when there's an earthquake. And yes, there are earthquakes in the 𝐒𝐶𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍. The last big one was in 1999, but still incredible that this old house right behind me is still preserved to this very day. Honestly, in my opinion, an absolute must-see when you're here in Filandia. You really feel like you've stepped back in time, and you can still, it feels like you're living history when you walk into that museum. About 15 minutes walking outside of the town of Filandia, you get to this incredible viewpoint here. It's the Mirador of Filandia, and basically you get an incredible view of the entire city. Now, entrance fee into here is again another 8,000 pesos, just like at Encanto. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna climb this thing. It is massive. Like, I can't see it right now, but I'm gonna climb up and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, because this thing is crazy, and it's all man-made. It's completely built by people, which makes it even crazier. That right there, that is the viewpoint I am talking about. It is so insane. Like, how many layers are there? It's completely man-made, and it's just built right on top of this hill, so you literally get an entire view of the entire area. It's crazy to me that they actually built this, but that's where we're going, and that should be a lot of fun. That out there, that is the famous 𝐒𝐶𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿. That is where all the coffee is made, in these hills stretching on and on. Wow, just incredible to see this view actually exist. Mirador actually looks really tall, but to be honest, it's not that hard to climb up. It's pretty easy. But that right there is the view of Filandia that you've been waiting for. Now, I have to say, when you're climbing up here, if you're scared of heights, beware, because you literally see all the way to the bottom of the pool. And what do I mean by that? I mean literally, you can literally see all the way down, all the layers of it. It's a bit scary. If you're scared of heights, if you have a fear of heights, would not advise you to climb all the way up to the top. That is what you come up for. That is why you come all the way up to the top of the viewpoint. Now, we're kind of in a rush because we got to rush back to get the Jeep that I've already booked. And if I miss that Jeep, I don't even know how to go back to Salento. So let's go ahead, let's head back down, and let's rush back into Filandia before I actually miss the Jeep. As you can see, I'm pretty stuck in here, but we're right on the Jeep. I literally arrived right on time. You can literally see the Jeep. This is one way to travel in the 𝐒𝐶𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿, but we're going to be leaving soon, and we are heading back to Salento. Let's do it. And just like that, we have made it back to the city of Salento. As you can probably tell, the sun has set. The sun was setting on the bus ride over. I have to say, the Jeep ride is not the most comfortable thing ever. It's cool. It definitely looks cool to sit on a Jeep, but it really isn't comfortable. It's bumpy, it's rocky. Filandia, what a beautiful place, what a cultural place, what an interesting place, what an educational place. I've learned so much about 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍 from the coffee making, coffee roasting process. It's just so interesting, and there's so many museums in Filandia. It honestly is incredible. I'm so happy that I had the chance to actually really explore it, and I would highly recommend Filandia for anyone who's here. If you enjoyed this video here, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. We've got a lot more videos coming here from Colombia, so make sure to stay tuned, and I can't wait to continue sharing this beautiful country with you guys in the upcoming videos. All right, I'll leave it here, and it's going to be good night from Salento, Colombia.